Hey YouTube, I'd like to give a summary of the work with the scooter running on straight hydroxy gas. Um, we've tried various different methods and places to inject the hydrogen gas. We injected the hydrogen into the, probably I believe it would be the exhaust gas recirculation point right after the carburetor. That was one spot we tried, so that would be without any restriction by the carburetor, and it seemed to want to put a lot of vacuum on the bubblers and possibly suck water in. Also, we got a backfire doing that. Then we injected it into the bottom of the carburetor where the gasoline comes in, up through the float bowl. And it seemed to work there, and we seemed to possibly have a little bit more control of the air-fuel ratio, but and we were also able to get it to rev there, but also that was only for a short period of time. So I believe what was happening was float bowl was building up with hydroxy gas, and so you'd be able to rev until the hydroxy gas there in the float bowl was used up. Then the other spot for injecting hydroxy gas would be into the air intake in front of the carburetor. And that was probably the most reliable method for idling the engine. And then we installed a cork and tube the tube would be clamped off to adjust the air-fuel ratio. Decreasing the amount of air that would go in would cause the idle of the engine for the RPMs to go up slightly. This seemed to be a pretty good method, but we were still not able to adjust the air-fuel ratio to the point that would cause the engine to, be able to rev up. So I think doing it that way could possibly work, but if you totally clamp off the air, then the engine will just die. So you need some movement through the engine. So that's basically what we could do with the engine set up the way it is. Now, we didn't adjust any timing, so that would be the next thing that I'd like to try, is to get a new type of, either make an adjustment in the scooter's computer itself to adjust the timing. It has electronic ignition, so I believe that you would actually have to reprogram the computer or get a separate ignition system like a MSD ignition, unless somebody has the ability to reprogram a Honda 2002 Metropolitan computer to adjust the timing. I believe from what I've read that the timing changes by the throttle position sensor. So if you have as you increase the throttle, then the timing changes, and I believe that the timing would advance as you put more fuel in. So, that's the opposite where we want to go. So the other possibility why we're not able to rev is the timing. So I think that, what I need to do is have some way to adjust the timing and, find out what it is right now. So possibly right now the timing is close to top dead center, so it's able to idle. Then when you increase the throttle, the timing advances, and so then then the engine starts working against itself. The hydroxy gas lights off really fast and tries to drive the piston the opposite direction which it wants to go. So, we may have a timing issue, and I either need to reprogram the Honda computer or get a whole separate ignition system. Yeah, so if anybody out there has the ability to adjust the timing, the programmer for the Honda Metropolitan, I'd appreciate it if you leave a message. I tried to, I called the Honda shop, and they wouldn't even really talk to me. Basically, I told them I was a graduate student working on trying to run a scooter on hydrogen, and he basically said, you won't find a dealer to help you. So, I need some help, to be able to do that. So if anybody has any suggestions, I'd really appreciate it. So I can idle the engine, I can adjust the air-fuel ratio, and that will, allow me to reduce the power input going into the cell. But I believe that, without making some kind of a timing adjustment, I don't think that I'll be able to do any more than just idle the engine. So so until I get either some more equipment or figure out some way to do the timing, I'm probably going to be putting the scooter project on hold for now. So keep looking. The next thing I'm going to work on is my mother-in-law's car, putting the same cell in the car and using it as a hydrogen booster. I have the air-fuel ratio gauge, and I have a EGT gauge, and I'm still waiting for the eManage fuel piggyback computer to come in. A little trouble with the eBay seller, so first I'll install the cell and see what kind of gas mileage gains I can get without adjusting the computer, and then when I get the computer, adjust that and see if we can get further improvement. So thanks for watching, and if anybody has any suggestions on the scooter project, I'd be glad to hear them. So thanks. Bye.